You know, I have always been a firm believer of not hating anything. I think hate is a very strong word. However, it seems like every day that goes by, I am beginning to hate technology more and more and more. And this is very ironic because I work in tech. That is essentially my career. That is what my degree is in. That's what I'm doing right now. And this doesn't have to do with my career. It's more so the bigger picture and all of these small, minute ways that I think are just lost to most people because they're just under this mind control of oh, it's all great and it's making my life so good. And don't get me wrong, there are many amazing things with technology, but recently I started a list. I started a list because I was finding these very sneaky, minute ways that social media was screwing me over and thus everyone else over. And what was funny about this is that I kind of just discovered these on my own. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has talked about them. I haven't looked this up. However, it's not like I read an article and then I was like, oh, that's true. No, I went through these struggles with technology in my own life, and then a light bulb just went off one day, and I was like, oh my God, this is all just for their benefit. Specifically, they're purposefully making it hard in order to benefit, for them to benefit and us to suffer. And it's a short list at this point. I definitely expect to compile more things as I go along and will ultimately do more episodes as my list grows. But right now, I have two things that I want to dive into and hopefully just shed some light on this and stir your thoughts to start thinking about technology's role in your life. Because at the end of the day, I don't think this is anyone's fault. I think that this has been this mastermind thing that has happened, and technology does have amazing good benefits, but I think it's up to us to put our foot down on the negative. So the first thing on my list, I came to this realization through Instagram. So I was in a phase of my life, as I usually am, where I need, quote unquote, need to be on Instagram in the sense of, for this podcast, I post on Instagram and I just found a need to be on it. However, I did not want the additional outside noise in my feed because what I realized was I had been very diligent about going through the list of people who I follow. And I always have tried to make sure that everyone who I follow either uplifts me, inspires me, motivates me, or, is a friend who I actually enjoy seeing about their lives. Because all of this stuff is obviously going to pop up in my feed. Then, after going, through the list multiple times, I've done this numerous times throughout my career on social media. And I started realizing that my feed was still filled with things that I did not ask for. Yes, curated to my algorithm and the things that I click on or the things that I watch the most. You all know that, right? Your social media feed has an algorithm that is tied to you. How long you stay on a post, how many videos you click. If you watch a lot of cat videos, it's going to serve you up more cat videos. If you watch a lot of weightlifting videos, it's going to serve you up weightlifting videos. It's all to keep you addicted like a slot machine. So I'm aware of this, right? But I figured I can at least get my main feed to a place where it is in my control. And what ended up happening was actually when I started my Instagram account for this podcast, I was following no one. I still don't follow anyone on it. I'm going to look at it right now. Yep, I am following 0 people, okay? However, when I click on the little house icon on the bottom left on my phone, that is my, home page, home feed, whatever you want to call it. It is filled with posts, okay? Some college has an advertisement, here's a quote, here's a reel, here's an emotional story, here's one about a business. Like, okay, I don't follow any of these people. I don't scroll on this profile. So Instagram is choosing what I have in my home feed. Now, if you click on the Reels tab, that's a whole other story. Like, I think the purpose of that is to give you, videos and new stuff to look at. Or even the search bar, right? If you go to search, at the top, you can search for what you want, or you can scroll through Instagram's suggestions. Now, you would think that the home page could be like a landing spot for the stuff you actually care about. But no, Instagram is giving you more advertisement for things that it thinks that you should follow and like and comment on there as well. So how many spots do we have suggested information from Instagram? We have it on the Reels, we have it on the search bar, and we have it on the home page as well. This frustrates me for a number of reasons. The number one reason is that I have no ability to be on Instagram without the influence of what Instagram wants me to see. And I did some research on this, and I was looking up extensively, is there any way to turn off auto suggestions on the homepage of my Instagram? Is there any way to just make it who I choose to follow? And if I follow no one, for it to just say, no posts available to you, and there is no way. And I found myself on a Reddit thread of people discussing the technicalities of this, like very plain and simple, like, yeah, there's no way to do this, like Instagram, doesn't allow that as an option, blah, 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 point blank, right? And everyone's comment was like that, like, yeah, doesn't allow you to do it. Not even like, what a bummer. And that frustrated me even more. Like, are you guys not frustrated that you can't control your own social media page, your home page? Because this is what's keeping us in a trap. The whole reason that I wanted the ability to control what pops up in my homepage is so that I could have a sort of healthy relationship with social media. My thought was if I could just get on the app, when you first click on it, the page that it brings you to is the homepage. I thought that if I could just click on the app and only sift through the people that I care about and the accounts that I choose to follow, their recent posts. You know what I mean? I thought that I would have a more healthier relationship. Instead, now what I have to do when I don't want to get trapped down the wormhole of social media for 3 hours is I have to click on the app and then physically take my hand and cover my entire phone screen with my hand so that I do not see what pops up at all. I do not see what pops up at all. I can just see the bottom bar of like home, search bar, post, reels, and then to my page, right? And then I have to do, like, if I'm posting something, I'll just click the post button and then I'll type out my post. Post it, get off the app immediately. And maybe that has to do with my inability to just scroll on Instagram for 30 seconds and then get off. But honestly, I don't think so, because this has been made so addicting at this point that I think we are all susceptible to it. And just the more you're on it, the more you end up on it. And at the end of the day, you just feel like garbage afterwards. You didn't get anything done that you needed to get done. You just watched a bunch of people's other lives that look better than yours instead of living in the real world. And now 3 hours have passed by and you just feel depressed. And although I have come up with this creative way of literally like hiding my screen with my hand and just getting to what I need to get at, it doesn't always work. It does not always work, and I find myself in seasons where I'm highly addicted and I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. My crutch is Instagram Reels because I got rid of TikTok a long time ago. I've never gotten into like YouTube Shorts, so Instagram Reels is like, that algorithm knows me. And then I'll justify it because I'll be like, oh, well, this one's educational. This one's teaching me how to trim a plant that I want to buy. You know what I mean? No. Okay? If I wanted to figure that out, I could just look it up. I do not need Instagram to tell me how to do that. And you may ask why? Like, why does Instagram and all these different social media platforms even care? Why do they care if we're on it or not? It's all money. It's all money because the longer that you're on it, the more you're watching an ad or a reel. It's just the more time that you're on it, the more that these businesses and companies are financially benefiting and able to control your thought pattern, literally control the masses. If they want you to believe something, serve you up a bunch of videos about something. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't even woo-woo conspiracy theorist. Like, this is just simply how it's working. And I hate the fact that our thoughts are being so heavily influenced by this. Like, I have felt it in myself. You know what I've been seeing more than ever recently is the red light mask for like acne. I'm seeing it everywhere, and not just ads, like not just a company being like, oh, get the red light mask. Like, I'm seeing regular people or influencers who have the red light mask and it's just like a part of their morning routine video, and maybe they're sponsored, maybe they're not. I'm not even reading the comments long enough to know that or not, but it's like the seemingly normal video, like it's not an ad, and it's just like, oh yeah, I put my skincare on and then I sit with my red light mask while I read a book for an hour, and it's like amazing, and my skin has never been so clear, and like I hate how I want a red light mask. I want one now. Guess what? It's like $300. It's like $300, but is it going to help my acne? I don't know. I do not think I'm going to get one. We'll see. But genuinely, that has been influenced by social media. Like, the want to spend $300 on a red light mask was influenced by social media. But I'm getting a little off topic here. The main point, the first thing on my list is the fact that you cannot turn off automated post suggestions on Instagram. And this isn't a matter of Instagram not being able to do it. They already do far more complicated things with their algorithm. They are choosing not to allow you and me to have that choice. Listen, you guys, in a world that spends most of their time on screens, I am all for a healthy escape. Whether that's just stepping away from the screens or getting lost in a good book for a while, we need that break. And if you're looking for that kind of escape, you have got to check out sarahcrownbooks.com. Some people are born storytellers, and let me tell you, Sarah Crown is one of them. From recording her first stories as a child to studying under top Hollywood story experts like John Truby, she has built a life around words, weaving thrilling narratives with depth and heart. With degrees in psychology, education, and law, Sarah brings a unique perspective to her writing, one that grips readers and just doesn't let go. Trust me, her stories are the perfect way to unplug and dive into something unforgettable. Her latest novel, All These Threads of Time, is the perfect blend of heart-pounding suspense and mind-bending time travel. Set in the 80s, when Sylvie Mitchell discovers that she can jump through time, she's determined to save her family from a serial killer. But the past fights back in ways that she would have never expected. If you love mysteries with a twist and time travel that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, this book is for you. And if you're looking for more than just stories, Sarah's Substack called A Busy Lady is your backstage pass to her writing journey. She takes you behind the scenes with inspiration, writing tips, and more. Whether you're a writer, a reader, or just someone looking to live a more creative life, A Busy Lady will give you the tools and motivation you need. Don't miss out on Sarah's thrilling books and creative wisdom. Check out sarahcrownbooks.com for more information on her books and Substack. That's sarahcrownebooks.com. In stories, we find ourselves. And then the second thing on my list, and this is actually the last thing on my list. I told you this was a short list. Like, as it grows, I'll do more episodes, but these are the two things that I have just randomly woken up to recently. The second thing I realized as I was taking a photo within the iMessage app. So this is specifically on the iPhone. I do not know if this concept is the same on an Android, because I've just never had an Android. So this is specifically for the iPhone. So I was texting someone in iMessage, and you have the ability within there to take a photo to send to them right there in that moment. And I've known that the photo saves to your camera roll. Like, this is nothing new to me, but I grew very frustrated with it in this moment. It was almost like it was like building. And then I just got really frustrated because typically, if you are taking a photo within a text conversation with someone, it is usually a picture of the grocery aisle, the cans of soup that you're sending to your mom to be like, which one of these is the one that you wanted me to pick up? Okay, that's not a permanent photo that I need in my camera roll, because I really like having a clean camera roll and going through my camera roll and not having miscellaneous screenshots and pictures of the soup aisle in there that I just don't need. Like I said, I've known this before, but I just realized in that moment, why? Why does Apple make it so that every photo that you take within a text conversation with someone, why does it save to your camera roll? And then I was like, well, maybe you can turn that off. Maybe there's an option in settings. So I started looking it up and researching it, and the same thing. Everyone was like, yeah, unfortunately, you can't do this. And thankfully, people online were a little more frustrated with this than they were with the social media thing. But they were like, yeah, there's no way to turn it off. Like, I've tried everything. It's just not an option that Apple makes. Like, how frustrating. Like, we need this in the next update, right? So then I started thinking about this more. And this was over the course of a few days. Like, it's just tossing in the back of my mind. I'm like, why? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, Apple is not naive. Apple has amazing developers. This is something that they could figure out, right? Why are they choosing not to figure it out? And then it dawned on me. The more photos that you have on your iPhone, the more storage space that you need. And what is Apple always pushing? iCloud storage. Oh, you want 30 extra gigabytes of iCloud storage for $10 a month? I don't even know, because I don't have iCloud storage. However, it's always popping up on my phone, and I'm sure it's always popping up on your iPhone too. Or if you have a ton of photos in your camera roll, it starts suggesting it to you. It's like, hey, you really need some iCloud storage here, like, because you didn't buy the iPhone with 1 terabyte, yours only has 500 gigabytes, and you're like using up all of that with your photos. So, just give us $10 a month and we'll take care of the rest. And how easy is it for us to just fill up our camera roll and clutter it with miscellaneous photos from our text messages? The photo of the grocery aisle that I sent to my mom, the random photo of a shirt on a hanger that I'm asking my friend if she thinks that would look good for me to wear that day. These are not photos that I need to be paying 10, 20, 30, whatever dollars a month in order to then store in iCloud. And so obviously, it would make sense that Apple would put us in this trap, in this box, because how many of us are actually going through our camera roll? Picture this. You're at the mall, you're buying spring clothes, right? You're texting your friend, and you're sending her a couple of photos in one of the stores that you're in. Like, hey, how about this shirt? And like, what about these pants? And then shoes. What am I doing for shoes? Like this, or this. It's like 5 photos, right? How many of us in that moment are, after sending the photo within the iMessage app, how many of us are then getting out of the iMessage app, going to the Photos app, selecting all 5 of those photos, and then clicking delete, yes, delete, in that moment? Now, if you are, you're awesome, like you're at God tier. However, the majority of us are quickly taking the photo in the iMessage app, sending it, and waiting for our friend's reply while we continue to shop because we're in the middle of a busy mall. And so then the days and the weeks and the months and the years go by with all of these random photos ending up in our camera roll, and then we're like, how did I end up with 5,600 photos? Like, this is so overwhelming. And now Apple is telling me that I'm going to like lose them all unless I sign up for iCloud, and $10 a month, whatever, if that's going to solve my problems and save my precious photos, because there are precious photos that are intertwined with these junk photos. We have all these random photos and screenshots, right? And then all of a sudden we go on vacation and we have 1,300 photos that are actually of memories and things that we want to keep, and we should probably like print out and put in a photo album. But it's all intertwined with these junk photos. And so in order to save the small amount of photos that were actually meaningful, now we're spending money to let Apple store it all. It is a mastermind money scheme. And it's not just iCloud. Like, you could choose to store your photos with any other service that makes you pay for it, and it's the same concept. I just think that the fact that Apple is choosing, again, it's a company, a tech company, choosing to not allow you to have the choice with your device. Because if you, for whatever reason, actually want all of your photos that you send within iMessage to automatically save to your camera roll, then good for you. How quick and easy of a setting would that be in the camera app? How quick and easy? Just a little toggle. Have photos save automatically from iMessage? Yes or no? Just a quick little toggle, right? And for the rest of us who don't want all those junk photos automatically saved, can toggle it off. But no, Apple is not giving us that choice because they want our camera roll to become as cluttered as possible so that we end up paying someone in order to hold on to all of that photos that are ultimately meaningless. You can probably tell that this really gets on my nerves because I think it just comes down to the matter of choice. And it's like none of these choices that these companies are choosing to not give us are harming anyone. Like it would not harm anyone to give us the choice to be able to curate our own homepage on Instagram. And it would not harm anyone to have the choice to be able to turn off photos from automatically saving when we send one to iMessage. That's not going to harm anyone. However, the company is choosing to take away that choice for their financial benefit. And you know what? Maybe I have no right to sit here and complain because I choose to buy the Apple iPhone, and I feel that in my life I need to have a smartphone instead of going to a flip phone. If I could have a flip phone, honestly, there is going to be a phase in my life where I have a flip phone willingly because I'm so done with all of this. Like, flip phone would be awesome, but I do just feel that as we have so much going on. Like, I need to access my email on my phone. I'm texting people constantly. It would be unfeasible to like click the keypad 3 times to get the right letter that I need as I'm explaining a whole technological concept to my boss at my job. And that's where these companies have us hooked. I have an iPhone. I choose to have an iPhone. You know what I mean? I choose to comply with these terrible choices that these companies are making. I do hope that bringing up these 2 things has made you think a little deeper. Maybe there's something that I haven't realized yet, and please share that with me. Like, if there's even more ways, like these little tiny nuances that are ultimately negative coming from tech companies. I'd be super curious to hear what you've noticed in your life. And I hope that ultimately we are one day able to get to a point where we can live side by side with technology and it doesn't have to be just constantly used as this mastermind way to control us and just rob us of all of our money. All right, that's it. That's all I have today. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to follow along with the podcast, feel free to give me a follow on Instagram, my favorite platform, at The Lot of It Podcast. I am also on YouTube at The Lot of It Podcast, and you can stream episodes on all of the major podcast streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, etc. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.